We're back to the Neil Haley Show here on the Caregiver Dave Celebrity segment. I'm excited to welcome the program. Caregiver Dave Nasani. Dave, how are you? And I like this guy because he's an athlete, an actor, and I guess trying to become my mentor in acting in ways we were talking off air. So I'm going to enjoy this conversation. And Dave, you have to be educated on certain shows and you have to put it on your playlist, especially Orange is the New Black. But he is one of the best introducers or introductory persons that introduces people. Dave, introduce our guest.
Breakout Orange is the New Black star and SAG Award winner, Brad William Henke. Welcome to the show, Brad.
Thank you. Thank you. Before we start, I just want to ask you, what's your favorite scene of mine from Orange is the New Black?
The very first scene. I love it.
So Brad,
you loved it. All right.
Yeah, so Brad, would you get upset in that way that if interviewers don't know the shows you're on, or you like just having a conversation so we kind of learn about you? Just the kind of question asked.
I'm totally cool with either. We all try to, like, before the interview, try to look up each other, but we don't see everything, so it's all good.
I like telling the story, and I like your story because it kind of, in a lot of ways, you kind of reinvented yourself in so many ways. So Dave, let's go to the first question. Let's talk about, again, him growing up, because again, he was not an actor to begin with. So let's kind of hear that story.
Well, Brad, I always like to ask famous people like yourself, how did it all start? I mean, when you were 12 or 6, I mean, were there clues that you were going to be who you are?
No, when I was 8 years old, I wanted to be a professional football player. So I would, run around the block in a parka in the summer to make weight so I could be a running back. And I just, when I was in junior high, I went to the high school. I saw they were throwing away an old blocking sled, and I asked if I could have it. I used to push that blocking sled all day long. And so then I went to the University of Arizona. I was defensive captain, and believe it or not, I was Arizona Student Athlete of the Year.
Oh, congrats. Yeah.
Can you believe that? I couldn't believe it. A funny story about that is my buddy, I was playing basketball. My buddy came up to me and he's like, "Hey man, what time are you going to the thing tonight?" I said, what are you talking about? Because, back then when you're graduating, people always like send you letters. I didn't even know I won this thing, but his brother won the high school one. And so he took me, I got a suit, and we went, and I was like, the event was about me and I didn't even know it was happening. But anyway, then I played for the Denver Broncos, and
my favorite team next to the Steelers are the Broncos.
So I like those two teams too. Have you guys ever seen this movie that's out now called Soul? It's a Disney kids movie.
No, I have not.
It's such a great movie. It might change your life. But anyway, it's kind of like, this guy's like figuring out like what he should do with his life. And there's a story of like two fish, an old fish and a young fish, and they're swimming. And he's like, "Man, I want to get to the ocean." And he's like, "We're in the ocean." No. He's like, "This is just water. I got to get to the ocean." So basically that means like, you're already there. You know what I mean? You're already doing it. And I got there and I was like, this is it. Like, I thought it was going to be like this huge, great feeling, but it just felt, oh, we're going to play this game. And I got cut the next year, started having surgeries on my ankle. And so played in like every league that would let me, arena league, I didn't know what else to do. And so then I just couldn't play anymore. And then I had a few lost years where I was trying to figure things out. And I just happened to, a buddy of mine told me that they needed ex-football players to be the background in a commercial, like if it was like a Peyton Manning commercial and people acting like people. So I did that. And this guy invited me to an acting class. I said, all right, cool, I'll go. I go and I see this guy up there doing this scene, and he's crying, and I go, the fuck makes this guy cry? I've cried I've never cried. I can't even remember crying. I remember being at my grandpa's funeral, loved the guy going, cry, man. Why aren't you crying? And then, because like in football, especially my last years, I was hurting so much. So I got to tell myself, I don't hurt. I don't feel this. You tell yourself you don't feel stuff. So this guy's, what is this guy make me feel? And I guess I don't know if I can tell you this on air, but like during that time, someone I was dating said, we were in an argument. She said, "How does that make you feel?" And I said, "Well, it makes me feel like you're being a jerk," but I used like a different word. Yeah. But anyway, and she's like, "No, you feel misunderstood or this or that." And I was like, I've never even heard of these things. And so I started acting, really just trying to figure out who I was, what made me feel this,
exactly,
all that. And I just ended up, I booked my first commercial. My first audition for a film was Space Jam. I played the catcher when Michael comes to bat. Yeah, and I so wish I had a picture with him, but I just was like, he's acting, he's kind of nervous. Like, I don't want to be that guy. Hey, I'm just not that guy. But that's one I feel like I missed that one.
You're not the first football player to go Hollywood on us. There's, Bo Eason, Joe Namath. So you're in good company.
Yeah, I think more so Merlin Olsen.
I could say one as a joke, Brad, but you don't want to hear that one.
I do.
A football player that became an actor.
Who?
OJ Simpson. Yeah, he was pretty good, to be honest with you, with some of the stuff he did with the Naked Gun. Yeah. I love that stuff for sure. So Brad,
an airport,
So it's been a pretty long career if you're talking Space Jam. What year was Space Jam?
Probably 95.
Yeah, exactly. And so from that process, and I remember watching, I'm sure you watched the Michael Jordan documentary.
Yeah.
That was real. What was again? I'm thinking of the name of it. It'll come to me in my head. Same, you and I both have been hit in the head too many times to come.
Oh yeah, I've been way too many times. Yeah, if you want me to come up with names.
For wrestling, I got hit in the head so many times with chairs, so it didn't matter. So yeah, same type of thing.
Well, when we played, we had the AstroTurf was just like backdoor turf over a parking garage. You know what I mean? Like, it hurt when you're head in.
Yeah, so it was earlier.
When you passed out, you go, ooh. That's what I hear.
After Space Jam, you gotten after Space Jam. What was your next? What do you consider your big break? Then finally you're starting to get some a decent role and all that stuff. What would you say?
I think I'm still waiting for it, man.
Oh my God!
Because it's like you work, you get to one level, and then you think, oh, it's gonna be easy. It's never easy. This is not easy. Even like people who are huge stars, at one day when they're not as big, they will be auditioning again, So it's like, I thought a lot of things were big breaks, and then it just, I guess what the big break was, it kept me working.
Exactly. So you definitely.
But Orange is the New Black was like, made me an overnight, who's this guy? Hey man, I've been doing this for 25 years, and then they,
overnight success, 25 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Educate Dave on what Orange is the New Black is, because I'm sure he'll be watching tonight after you tell how successful
Netflix.
That was Netflix for sure, but tell those. Yeah,
I'm gonna watch it tonight.
But Orange is the New Black was crazy because, I used to have people come up to me and say, hey, I like your work in this and this once in a while. You know what I mean? Orange is the New Black, the first season came out, and I'm shooting the second season in New York, and walking down the street, like, seriously, every 10 feet, can I have a picture? Can I have a picture? Can I have a picture? I was like, whoa, I'm not rich enough to be this, identifiable.
Yeah, but for sure. So what was your role on Orange is the New Black, and explain a little bit the premise, because some people honestly are listening to my radio show Drive Time right now or somewhere, they are saying to themselves, I don't know the show Orange is the New Black. You might say, are you kidding me, Brad? But it's
Orange is the New Black is about this like kind of higher class white woman has to go to prison, and then it's just kind of what happens to her, and just like all the different social groups and everything. And I played in season 4 and 5, I played like the head guard, and there's secrets about me that I don't want to tell if they haven't watched it, but everyone hated me. Like, I had never had Instagram or something, and it said like, if I ever see him on the street, a meme of someone throwing chips. And I was like, is that real? Is that really gonna happen? I said, are you really gonna do that to me if you see me? And they're like, is this really you? I'm like, yes. Oh, I'm sorry, I just like your character.
See, I love that. See, and then that's a great understanding of Orange is the New Black, Dave, but you'll enjoy it. A lot of pretty ladies, very interesting stuff, and great storylines. And how many seasons did it end up being?
And then like, I liked it, when they just, here's this person we haven't seen much. Then they do this whole story about him, and you get to learn about it. It's really cool. You learn about the past.
So give me a list of this star-packed cast.
It's not star-packed. It's just,
no, that's the way Netflix works. It's new stars creating new
Yeah.
stars like
Ah.
They
Brad.
are
Henke.
stars now.
So they're
They were-
unknown
actually,
stars, but
when it
okay.
started, they were all just like struggling actors. You know what I mean? And so they
Yeah, overnight
they
success.
really embraced it and kept a great work ethic. You know, sometimes people you go and do like an episode of a show, and sometimes they don't even like seem like they even care. But these people really cared, and I love acting. That's my favorite thing to do. So
I could see the passion in you for acting, and then
I
especially
want you to
giving
get
me
your passion for acting. When does that come up?
no. So Dave has a story in that way, as well as a movie's going to be coming out about his life. But we'll kind of go into that. So we have some interesting things in this show, Brad. But go ahead, Dave, with your next question.
Well, tell me about The Stand. What's that all about?
Okay, do you know who Stephen King is?
I do know who Stephen
No,
King is.
Dave.
Okay.
I think Dave would definitely know who Stephen King is.
You know,
I'm
I
gonna
just want
walk
to
away
see
now.
where we're working. Where we're working.
Yes, mystery
He's
novels.
not the flat earther, Brad. He doesn't think the Earth's flat.
Why
Okay.
is the
No,
guy-
I
why
definitely
is
don't
guy
think the
who's
Earth is
never
flat.
heard of anything I've done. The dude asking the questions. All right, so the Stand. Okay, this is Stephen King's favorite novel that he's written. Okay, and he actually wrote our last episode. So it's about a pandemic.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
He wrote this book 40 years ago that kills 90% of the world.
98.
And so then there's like 1% left, and then they're seeing these visions in their mind. I should go to this place, which is like the good place. I should go. So Boulder is where the angel side is, and Las Vegas is where the devil side is. So it's kind of like now where we've split into two groups.
Right. Exactly.
We don't believe this. We don't, so it's like that. I think, it's a pandemic. We're doing that. I thought, I wonder if people want to see that right now because they're going through it. But on our show, it's so much worse. It makes you feel better. And second of all, it's a really good human study to see like, oh, wow. Like even Stephen King knew that we would like split into groups and go against each other.
Yeah,
It's
human
kinda
nature, huh?
interesting.
Oh, it's so interesting. So that was written so many years ago. You're saying, oh my gosh, like, did he write it in a time machine? He already went to the future and figured this out.
He probably lives in a time machine.
And that was a big break. You're working with Whoopi Goldberg, right?
Whoopi Goldberg, yeah, that was good.
What was your role in the Stand?
Okay, the role of my Stand is like a role where you could either be like terrible or good, which is why I wanted to play it, because my character had received a head injury, and so he's a little not as sharp, but he ends up being like the heart of the show. It's totally different than Orange is the New Black, totally different than Manhunt, which I know you haven't seen either. Like this character is like the heart of the show, and he's really lovable, and he's kind of a hero.
Brad, I can make it up. Like I said, I've watched it or not watched it, but I'm really into the pop culture. But it's still so hard to watch all the shows. Wouldn't you agree, Brad?
Totally.
Especially as an actor too. Even being in the pandemic, catching up on what your favorite shows are. So I'm going to go through that before Dave asks the next question, and that is basically, what are you binging right now?
It's not good for me to say because it's not artistic. Because I'm just. Well, sometimes if I wanted a role in something, I can't watch it. Like I've never watched Sons of Anarchy because I auditioned for the pilot and I'm still bitter.
I have the same bitterness. Like I was trying to go through your same agency, meaning that who represents you. And I was trying to get someone in that, the one that was on Amazon involving the people that would go out and kill the Nazis. And I won't watch the show just because I didn't get to interview one of the stars. So I'm kind of that kind of bitterness too. I will not, I promote shows that people were on and spend time binging because of that. Because it's always, I call it 6 degrees of Neil. Neil's interviewed somebody in every show in some way.
Well, Neil, you would like Orange is the New Black. That's an investment. That's more of a character show. And you can watch 7 seasons. Manhunt is a 1 season, I think it's 8 episode about the Atlanta bombing, and the guy who I forget his name right now, the guy who played the bomber is amazing.
I want to see where's Manhunt on? What's that on?
It's on Netflix now. It started on
okay. It's already on my list.
Then it went to CBS, and now it's on Netflix, and people are.
I'm in for that one because again,
what's the name of that one?
It's about a pandemic.
Manhunt. It's about as I said, the Atlanta bombing. That's really cool because I
play like militia. I had it a militia. Like I probably would have been at the Capitol last week. So that, like my character.
Because Dave would be saying, "Good job." Just kidding you.
Yeah.
Dave, I just put you up.
He would have been sending me like maps of where to go. But no, so that was really interesting watching all that, because a lot of them look like me and my crew.
Yeah, but there'll be a movie about it. You're already thinking of directing it, right, Brad? Or you're going to produce it or create.
You're going to be the guy in the horns with
more
the
of
painted
like a
face.
Steve Jobs like idea man than the writer. Like, here's the idea. I wish I had people that I could just make sit in a room and make my ideas perfect, you know?
But someone will make it quickly. But see, I like those movies like the shows like Manhunt, because again, I remember watching the one about the Oklahoma bombing. I forgot that one. I really liked that one.
Yeah,
So
It's really good. Yeah, it's really good.
So who else acted with you in Manhunt?
Oh man, don't ask me that question.
Okay, you're just like me. I don't remember who I interviewed last week. Someone will say, "Yeah, I interviewed some football players and actor." You know,
I'm so in a bubble when I act. Like I'm friendly. I say hello to everyone in the morning. I don't want anyone to think I'm a jerk because I'm nice. But then I like to be in a little bubble. I like to sit by myself. I like to just do the scenes and then sit there. That's just what I like to do, because it's more fun for me to have it really feel real. You know, you're sitting there for 14 hours. You might as well make it feel artistic.
Do you think that's going to be the same way you're going to film now with the pandemic, where it's going to take longer for certain scenes and stuff? If you're talking 14 hours.
Look, man, I don't understand how we can play football, do UFC fighting, do pro wrestling, but we can't shoot an acting scene.
Right. That makes no sense.
It makes no sense. And I think it's because it's a big production, all these people, and the insurance companies won't cover it, or they want
exactly. And the NFL's paying a lot of money. WWE's paying a lot of money. And sometimes a lot of your productions are it'll become more expensive, and they don't know if they're going to make any money. You know, the NFL is going to make money with their TV contract. You know, the WWE is going to make their money. And you know what they saved for spending so much to keep those guys safe? They're not doing any house shows anymore. They are just going straight. They're not going to go do any house shows anymore. So they figure out certain things that'll save in the budget, and they'll have to pay the talent as much. But in acting, it's very hard. You could get a big role. You think it's a big role, and yet they can lose all their money. And then companies don't want to.
Or like the star or the director, someone could get sick. Yeah. So I'm hoping like this, you know, after we get in line and we can get the vaccine, which, you know, everyone doesn't know about the vaccine, but you know, I'm going to have to take it because I want to work.
Is that going to be mandatory? You think?
I'm sure it is. If you had an act, you're casting something, and the one actor won't do it, and the actor does. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, I feel like I want to work because I haven't worked since March 12th. When I was shooting The Stand, they kicked us out of Canada. You got to stay or go because we're locking it down. And I've been not working since March, and I don't like it.
So it's not since March. Oh, that's terrible. But you've been auditioning, right?
Just lately, I auditioned for some stuff like before the spike, and then they all went away. All the productions went away. So I auditioned for something last week. It's not. I think it's going to be like, hopefully, like May, June-ish.
Are they Zoom auditions?
No, I just have to put it on tape myself and send it.
See, that's what's going to happen for me for my audition. Which will be my one and last one, unless Brad's coached me right about the flat earther thing. So we'll see what happens on that. That I'm going to have to
run it and run it and run it and know it. Don't be. Yeah, of course you can hold your page. Don't hold your damn page. So because then you feel like that's an anchor. You know, make it so you know it. So then you can just not think about the lines and just get someone to read with you that will, you know, kind of try, so you can just work off of that.
All right, Dave, I'll give you one more question for Brad, so Brad won't crush you. Because again, he can be an intimidating guy. I don't have the story, Brad, about we interviewed Tom Sizemore a couple of weeks ago or last month, and he was getting interesting because he was Dave and them were going back and forth. Dave likes to be combative. I like that as a talk show host, Dave, but sometimes these celebrities don't think kindly of that. But go ahead, Dave.
What happened with Tom Sizemore?
No, he was just asking certain questions of Tom, and Tom was not feeling well. But
about like his personal life or whatever.
Yeah, but I'll have to send you that interview because after the editing room floor. I love Sybil Lake. I worked with it was her movie, and it's coming out in February. So I gave you a plug, Sybil. All right, Dave, go ahead with your.
Before I ask my next question, I just want to give you a great idea of something you can make money with, because you seem like an entrepreneurial kind of guy.
Okay.
You have some very good advice. You could be coaching for acting. I mean, Glenn Morshower is doing that. He's the most employed actor in Hollywood, and he just gives back. He helps people.
Well, here's the deal. I can't do that because I used to teach acting. I had my own acting
All
studio
right.
for like
Yeah,
8
you're good
years.
at it.
Wow.
At a certain point, I had 100 some students, and it was like I got to either be an acting coach or an actor.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, okay.
Because when you coach them, like you put your heart into it. It's exhausting, you know. You really try, and you try to make them feel, and you try to make them get it. And every person's different, so you got to try.
Yeah.
So if I did that now, honestly,
Well, you should have started in March.
And I would resent them because you know what, they can
You take it personal.
They can do it they can do it themselves. It's
Yeah.
hard work. One time some production said, "Hey, will you coach this guy? We hired him, but he's not an actor. We'll pay you like $500 an hour." I was like, "No, hire an actor."
Oh, wow.
It's just like that bugs me.
Exactly. So and see, I can see the passion you have, Brad, but I would recommend if you were looking at just maybe creating a get started type of course on acting that was an online thing where you wouldn't have to show up and coach them, just provide some tips and stuff, or maybe just go out there and
I like coaching. I actually coached football for 1 year, and my guy, I coached junior college, but I coached them like they were NFL players, and they were hurting the other team, and I lost my I got soft. I was like, what am I doing?
You're just a great coach and a great teacher, Brad. That's all I have to say. I can tell.
And you don't want to coach novices. You want to coach professionals who are passionate.
Who are trying.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I coaching novices was fun, but if I was coaching, I'd like to coach someone that was amazing and just help them a little bit.
But it would have been nice if you knew you were going to be out of work for so long. That would have been a good thing to do while you were out of work. At least you could have brought some money.
I thought it was going to be for like 2 months, but now I got to coach. I got to coach acting today, So.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well,
Dave, final question, which is the caregiving question.
Oh, I lost the question. Okay. So I'm a caregiver. My wife had a stroke 21 years ago. We were happily married for like 45 years, and halfway through,
Wait, how old are you?
I'm 67. Just had a birthday 2 days ago.
That's not true, is it?
Oh, thank you.
He's 67.
He's like 49.
Thank you. Yeah, see, I like you.
Dave looks really yes, he's 67.
Well, that's all this clean living, and Anyway, so we almost broke up. It was rough 2 year. They call it the grieving period, right? When you go through loss, you suffer grief. So we reinvented ourselves and she still can't talk. She lost her speech. She became paralyzed on one side, but she can communicate.
Cry.
So you can cry. That's good. In touch with your feelings. Yeah. So, she can still communicate through Pictionary and charades, 2 games I hate, by the way, but, I'm learning to love. But now we're okay. We communicate probably better than most normal people. And so I became Dave, the caregiver's caregiver, because I realized so many other caregivers out there are suffering and feeling pain. I didn't want them to, give up like I almost gave up. So I have a radio show, syndicated radio show, and I've appeared on TV and speaking all over the country. And so my question to you, because this is what I tell people, because 30% of caregivers is going to actually die before their loved ones do because of the stress. And if you're not a caregiver, just wait. You're either going to become one, you're going to need one. It's like a tsunami coming. And so how has caregiving, Brad, touched your life? Parents, grandparents, anything? Or you're just a lucky guy?
Yeah, my dad, unfortunately, 2 years ago passed away. He had a brain aneurysm.
Sorry.
So,
was it quickly?
No caregiving there. I guess you wouldn't call it caregiving, but I really had to talk to my mom every single day, go see her all the time, because my mom and dad had been together since 6th grade.
Oh, wow.
So that's been something. And then when I was in Canada, my mom, this isn't me, but my mom fell and cracked her skull and broke her.
Oh, my.
Things. And I was in Canada shooting the stand, and my ex-girlfriend took care of her for a month.
Wow.
Because she was here and not doing anything. So that was amazing. So that's my closest.
Was it hard on her, as you could recall?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. It's a tough job.
Yeah.
Well, Brad,
my mom was totally 100 though.
Wow.
That's great. You're so fully alive. I'm gonna keep rooting for you. Don't worry, things are gonna get better in 2021 for you, Brad. I know that
Yeah,
you're
I'm not
Yeah,
worried.
for everybody.
I've been on a roll, and like if it was like, it's not like everyone's working, then I would be freaking. But the fact that nothing's going on, and then hey, people are going to run out of shows. They're going to need shows, and so
we need shows now because
yeah,
I look at
no,
NBC.
I have people interested in me for things. Just when's it going to start?
All right, Dave. So basically, that's the best. Brad, anything else? Latest things you're promoting? Is the stand the big thing?
I'm going to stand, but I'm also promoting Manhunt at Atlanta.
I'm on it. I'm on it. I'll be.
That show's kind of blowing up, and people really like it, and it'd be great to watch them together because I'm playing two different characters. And what has been nice, online, is they say like, "Oh, I didn't realize for 3 episodes that was you." Oh, on both shows, so that's good. And I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, thanks, Brad. Is there a website for you, or just Google you?
Why don't you Instagram me at Brad William Henke?
We'll do that. Okay.
I can't do 5 platforms. I can do Instagram, and then once in a while I can like.
Yeah, but when you become a superstar, you'll have to have all the platforms.
No, then I won't even have a cell phone, buddy.
Okay,
I'm want to be so successful that I do not have a cell phone. That's my goal.
just think it and you'll achieve it. So I appreciate it, Brad. Thanks for your time.
Happened.
Thank you for the acting tips. Take care.
All right, buddy.
Bye-bye.
All right,
Nice
that's
meeting you.
Caregiver Dave Celebrity segment. Take care.